Back from rep duties in Thailand, Sam Kerr reminded us all of what she has to offer the game: football with finishing style. No need to apologise for that, Sam. It was all class. Sydney weren't going to let an early goal put them off their stride, and when Lena Karmas was pulled over in the box, the referee had no trouble making the decision. Alex Singer a little too vigorous with her marking, leaving Emma Workers to try and keep out Yuli Rydell. 1-1 inside 13 minutes. And the goals kept coming, a long ball bypassing the midfield to Heather Garriock, who in turn delivered to Karmas. She took her shot early and took it well. Alan Stajic was happy, Karmas ecstatic, and Sydney had the lead inside the quarter hour. An overlapping Catherine Paskey set up another for Karmas with a fine low cross as Sydney defied the heat with their hot brand of football. Kaya Simon came from deep to test the reflexes of Workers, a good save this time. But when the ensuing corner found Paskey unmarked at the back post, Sydney had 4. Lisa Devanna came off the bench, promising to use her head and keep her mouth shut. And early in the second half, she made good on that promise. It was a neat finish to put Perth back in the game at 4-2, and her first of the season. At the other end, the day just got tougher for Workers, cleaned up this time by Alicia Clifford. A 5th goal would secure the points for Sydney, and they should have had it when Sarah Walsh gave Karmas a shot at a hat-trick. No matter, as Walsh took it on herself to finish the job. Around the keeper and a slightly anxious wait as it went in off the post for a final scoreline of 5-2. The result lifted their goal difference and has wrapped up a place in the semis for the Sky Blues, and on this form, they deserve to be there.
Today was a great game for us. We really wanted to put away Perth and get some goals in, and we've done that. And Lena, had a great game with the 2 goals as well. So there's a few chances we need to, fix up for next game.
The temperature may have dropped for Game 2 at Leichhardt Oval, but things were just starting to heat up between Melbourne Victory and the Central Coast Mariners. A Melbourne corner looked dangerous, but Jill Lloyden was diffusing all threats. The crowd sensed feathers would fly soon enough. Veteran midfielder Kelly Golubiowski ran Melbourne ragged before handing things over to leading goalscorer Michelle Heyman, who had no trouble finding the back of the net for the 9th time this season. A second goal seemed sure to follow not long after, but Melbourne and Australian keeper Melissa Barbieri slammed the door shut on any hopes of a 2-0 scoreline heading into the break. Melbourne continued to work hard against the classy Mariners' defence. Diana Nichevsky was just a hop, skip and a jump away from the equaliser, a close offside call. The Central Coast attack didn't let up in the second half. Heyman had goal number 10 in her sights as she outmanoeuvred Barbieri. The Mariners now ahead 2-0. Just 10 minutes remained on the clock and the Central Coast remained hungry for more. Golubiowski denied here by mere inches. Melbourne did their best, but the Central Coast was just too strong. And Michelle Heyman Brace handing them a most deserved win.
We're into the finals. We're not going to back down with any of our games leading up to finals, but we can rest players now. We can try some things. It's a positive thing that we're in the finals now.
All games lately have been virtual grand finals for Canberra as they chase a top 4 berth, but they're responding to their situation with positive football. Their approach against Newcastle was rewarded after just 9 minutes when Sian Machevsky got there first. An early goal certainly eases the pressure. Confidence looked high as they took apart the Jets' defence. Nearly another for Machevsky. Canberra continued to press and several players had a chance from this corner. Ashley Sykes putting the final header just wide. Early in the second half, Amber Nielsen forced one of the saves of the season from Lydia Williams, who touched it onto the crossbar. A Newcastle throw-in and Tara Andrews went down under not a lot of pressure. At least that was Bronwyn Studman's version of events. But the penalty was given. Amber Nielsen to make it 1-1. If Canberra felt hard done by, they didn't show it. A sharply angled shot from Seng Shuo restored their lead with 16 minutes left, a goal that Machevsky thought would carry the day. And yet they weren't quite finished. Kalia Hogg added a quality clincher from 25 metres, and Canberra's surge towards the semis was kept well on track. Goals and points have started coming Canberra's way. This was a solid win away from home.
We can't make any excuses with the heat. Both teams had the heat, but just, I guess, lapse. I mean, the heat can bring on lapse of concentration, and we had 2 lapses and 2 goals.
The conditions were very hard, the heat, and wasn't much breeze, but it's a credit to the girls because everyone put in 150% and, you know, we got the win even in those conditions.
A great thing about sport is you don't know what you're going to get. Brisbane and Adelaide certainly came to Ballymore full of surprises, even though it was first hosting last. An early shot from Lana Hark went wide, and then Adelaide struck when Rachel Quigley ghosted in at the back post for her 3rd of the season, and no one looked more delighted or surprised than the scorer. Brisbane's trouble was doubled on 20 minutes when Ruth Wallace let fly from 25 metres. Top left, top shot. That stirred the Raw into action, and a Claire Polkinghorn cross had them lining up to miss it. Tamika Butt provided the springboard for the recovery with a blistering run and a shot that maybe should have been stopped, but wasn't. Adelaide did contribute to their own dramas. Sian McLaren wasn't given a lot of help here. Sasha McDonald teed it up for Tamika Butt. Jo Burgess had a dig. And then Elise Keller-Knight completed one of the season's more bizarre goals. Brisbane still had half an hour to find a winner, but McLaren was keen to keep the status quo. She made a couple of high-quality saves, including this one from close range. The Raw looked far more likely to break the deadlock. Jenna Tristram had to stand on the ball to stop herself from scoring here, and that just about summed up their evening. So 4 goals and 2 points shared by Brisbane and Adelaide. The draw certainly the shock of the round.
I think it's a little bit of motivation for us. I mean, it's the first time we've been kicked off the top of the ladder. So I guess this week at training we're just going to have to be on top of our game.
The Central Coast defeat of Melbourne enough to make them outright leaders for the first time this season. Sydney is inching closer to the front of the pack, but Melbourne and Canberra are neck and neck with just 2 regular season rounds remaining. Perth seems out of the mix, and pride is all that is left for Adelaide and Newcastle.